and healthier. The article about lonely single men stated that women want men who are emotionally available, good communicators, and share similar values. And while those three things are yes, yes, and yes, I totally agree, that's not all that women want.
All right. So emotionally available, good communicator, and has good values and morals. So these are the things that the study shows that women are starting to want.
Yes.
But the problem is, like she's saying, that's not the only thing they want. Like they say these three things are the things that matter, but in
really,
actuality, when they actually choose a selection partner, and this is based on data from like
it's the superficial.
They filter out 6 feet, figure income and six pack abs.
Yes.
And so like there's a difference. Like if they say they want one thing, but they actually want this other thing, then there's like confusion in the marketplace.
Well, it's like an anomaly, right? So it's like you're saying this, but this is what's actually happening. And I think most of that gets kind of in a kerfuffle because what media and when women and girls growing up seeing culture is the six-pack ab, dashing guy, good personality, charming, sweeps you off the feet, talks really well. But in reality, do a lot of guys meet that? And it's very rare.
Yeah, and I would say if it were true, like if women actually chose just those three values, whereas emotionally available, good communicator, and has good values, that would solve a lot of problems. Right? So there would be a lot more matches in society. But the reality is they say they want this much, but they actually want this much.
So you're saying kind of like 15% is glass filled, but they want 75% of that glass filled instead.
Yes.
And that would make them comfortable, secure.
Well, it's narrowing the pool of guys that actually meet what they are holding still and firm on. And so the question is, can they relax that requirement so that, there could be more matches in society?
I think what ends up happening though in society, you want to relax that, but what ends up happening is because now humans in general are very visually inclined. And because of the social media that we have today, we have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you have to look good. If you don't look good, how are you going to compete with anyone else? And that's why I think the pool has narrowed it even more so than before. Back in like the 1800s, you didn't have that. So your pool was a lot more closer to you, either in community, local wise, but now because of technology, it's expanded through that and it's become more accessible to everyone else.
Yeah, so this dynamic is contributing to more and more single women. They're saying this study shows 45% single women by 2030.
And morals and shares whatever with her. And I don't think that we can sit here and lie to ourselves and say that those are the top three things that women are looking for, because those are three things on a checklist of a million other things. Over 6 feet, making six figures or whatever number it is, handsome. A big thing that I think these articles fail to mention is the fact that these are not the only things that women care about, unfortunately. I wish it was. As a woman, I wish I could sit here and say the only three things women care about are a guy who is emotionally available, good communicators, and has good values and morals and shares whatever with her. But sadly, those are just three things on a checklist of many other things that women are looking for. And if a guy doesn't have the other things also, the woman probably wouldn't give him a chance. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't true, but sadly it is. These are the 10 things women want according to this lady. We want to be treated as equals, okay? We want to feel seen and heard, okay? We want our feelings to be respected and validated. We want to feel safe and supported. We want to share core values with our partners. We want to have the flexibility of having multiple identities instead of being confined to one box, wife, mom, or caregiver. We want to be a part of a conversation regarding negotiating roles and expectations within the relationship. We want to have productive and honest conversations and healthy disagreements. We want to establish mutual trust, and we want to feel emotionally connected to our partners. Okay, all fair asks to me, but sadly that's not what a lot of women want when they're looking for partners, and they're choosing men who are horrible. They're choosing men who are the most good looking, who are making the most money, so of course have more options, and treat women like crap. And then after they date the crappy guy, they're like, oh, well, all men suck, all men are trash. I want a man who treats me right. well, you're not giving the men who treat you right a freaking chance.
So I think that whole list of we want sounds all good and dandy. The thing is, yeah, you can want those things, but do you give that out as well too? We want to be felt safe. We want to be felt heard. We want everything to be equal. Yeah, you can get those things, but are those people going to give those things back? And it should be a equal, if not reciprocal thing. And what she's saying is those top few percent, those people that have even a lot more opportunities, they feel entitled, meaning that they feel like they can get anything that they want and they can treat anybody how they feel. They don't care about the consequences because there's plenty of fish in the sea.
Yeah, so I think what her point is, that list of 10 things that women want, she's actually saying that's okay. And you can want those things.
Yeah.
And yes, of course, you want to be able to contribute to the relationship as well. But she's saying that in addition to wanting those things, actually, these other requirements you're holding hard on, this over 6 foot tall and 6-figure income. And so what ends up happening is the ones, when you're actually looking for those 666 instead of like these loyalty and all that stuff,
respect.
Yeah, then you're selecting guys that are not having those attributes. So you say you want those things, but you're actually choosing the other thing, and then it ends up.
Well, it's saying you're choosing the visual physicalities instead of the virtues and the morals and the values that could align. So there are a lot of people that could align to you and your morals, but you give it a passing chance.
Yeah, you're ignoring them. You're not giving them any chance, and you end up getting scarred by these 6 foot tall guys, and it ruins it for everybody else.
Well, that becomes baggage for the nice guys that then have to unravel, detangle that traumatic experience and win the trust back, which is even 10 times harder to do.
So this is contributing to more and more single women by the year 2030, because a lot of these women are becoming more and more selective, and there's just not many guys, and then they end up being scarred by these guys and getting emotional trauma, and then becoming baggage for the future guy, expecting the future guy to be able to accept all this past.
And it's vice versa too, for guys as well too. They can try to chase after good-looking women, and they get burnt and scorned by these beautiful women. And then when they do meet a good quality woman, that woman now has to unravel and unpackage all that.
Yeah. So this is what's happening in society, and if you choose to value 6 foot, 6-figure income and six pack abs, the visual stuff mostly, and money, over everything else, even though you say you want everything else, what your actions say is those are the 3 things you care about, then this is the consequence. More and more single women by 2030.
And more single men as well too.
That's right.
If you chase 6 foot tall, blonde hair, blue eye, whatever, visually appealing women, Instagram worthy,
Yeah, those guys will have all the attention. They will not commit because they have too many options. They'll just rotate from one to the next.
But once you get that, and then you can't settle for like a good, honest, loyal woman who's like a 7, 8, or whatever it is.
Yeah, because you
touched or you've
experienced so many good things. It's like you just want to keep the engine running at that point.
But you get burned along the way when experiencing the high life of.
Yeah, I mean, usually it's the girls that get burned later on, and it's because they experienced like this ideal guy, and then once they try to quote downgrade, and we'll talk about downgrading, but once they quote downgraded, they can't handle it because like they're so used to that high life.